if you lost all of your equipment, you lost all of your clients, you had to start today from scratch, what are you going to do today to get those first 10 clients?
How are you?
Awesome. Hey, I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I like the thermostat in the back.
Man, I'm close. I'm 70K away from 2 million. So like I'm counting every penny right now.
Let's go. That's awesome.
Yeah. How's your day going?
It's going good. It's going good. Had some interviews and yeah, I was out in the field helping out our second location. So yeah,
Awesome.
staying busy.
Congrats on the new building. That's so cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Super
I'm really
excited.
We're far away from that here in Canada. Prices are so crazy in Canada for real estate and stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm so pumped up to hear that you got something like that. That's sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know you were in Canada.
Yeah, man. We're actually 5 hours north of Kalispell, Montana.
Okay.
So I'm in a city called Calgary, about 1.3 million people. Have you ever heard of Lake Louise or Banff?
I haven't.
Okay, got it. Well, don't really have any other landmarks to throw at you, but yeah, we're in Canada. We have a good season from May 1st and September 30th, and then it's pretty much done. Short and sweet.
Wow. That's very cool. Very cool.
How long is your season?
So we are our core season is from March 1st to November 15th.
Wow,
That
sounds nice, man.
Yeah,
that's nice and long.
Yeah, that's our mowing season, and then obviously we shift to like winter services, and then the weed control and fertilization is year round. We do like a winterizer in the winter time, but yeah, we stay pretty busy. So
nice. Do you guys even get snow?
We don't. It's very, very rare. We might get one snowfall a year. That'll give us like maybe a half inch. I would say the biggest thing that we get is potentially like freezes. That might put us down for like a week if there's like a heavy freeze, but that's about it. So
cool. Wow. Interesting. Yeah. Different world, man. We'll get we have five or 6 months of actual lawn care production here, and then beyond that, snow starts to melt in March, usually April though, and then snow can come anytime between October and November, and then it'll get anywhere between I don't know, -10 up to -30, 35 Celsius, which is pretty cold. Like it's a lot of indoor stuff around here.
Yeah. Wow. So do you guys like do snow removal and stuff in the winter?
Used to. We used to do a lot of commercial snow, but honestly, it's a completely separate business, man. We'll take December, January, and February off. One, because we actually do need a bit of a break because it's so go. And we'll take that time also to prep for the next season. What did we do well this year? What did we not do well? How can we change things for the next season? So we take a little bit of a break, and we just that's my biggest challenge, actually, keeping good people, because we have to do like a temporary layoff, put them on EI or help them get another temporary job. So my biggest challenge is keeping good people. We have some retention, but it's not amazing, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's tough. Like we go down to 4-day work weeks in December, January, and February. So it's kind of nice. It's like an easier season. We got our core team, and it's like, all the reliable guys and all that stuff. But that's tough when you have to kind of do that temporary layoff.
No, exactly. But something we're figuring out here. We're starting to build a decent core staff here, which is nice. Takes a lot of time, and we're trying to build our standard operating procedures and whatnot, because we do want to continue to grow. We're only in one city right now, and we're probably the third biggest company in our city. The bigger guys, like they're big. Like Green Drop's number one, and then Weedman's number two. There's probably a Weedman where you are, but in Calgary, we're probably tied in third place with a couple other guys, per se.
So what's the long-term goal? Are you guys trying to build like one big massive company, or are you wanting to do kind of like similar to Mike's models where you're like having franchising it? Like what's the long-term goal?
So I don't want to be a franchise. I don't want to have these hundreds of locations. I don't want to sort of lose a grip of the company, per se. And not that happens, but it gets hard once you get into those big numbers there. Also, like the franchisor thing, it's not really my cup of tea. I would love to grow, but I don't think you would ever have like a mega branch for lawn care. I love the idea of keeping things tight and profitable. So I think an ideal number would be about 3 to 5 million for a city of like 1.3-ish million. And I would love to grow corporately between about 10 and 30 branches. I think is what I'd love to go hard for. And I'm down to work as hard as possible for as long as it takes to make that happen. I have a business partner, Liam. I'm sure you saw him did you see us on the boot camp?
I did. Yeah. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome episode.
Yes. I love yours too. Yours is awesome as well. That's why I thought I'd reach out to you. I found you on YouTube. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, let's go. And I'm like, so the way I want to grow the company, that's why I started the YouTube channel. I would love to post valuable content for people so that if maybe they have a branch somewhere else, they're kind of stuck in the $200,000 to $400,000 range, and they would actually like love to be a branch manager for Yard Dogs. In which case, we would acquire them, transfer things over to Yard Dogs, and get them growing to 1 million plus. 1 to 3 million probably is a sweet spot, and I'd love to do that 30 times.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Yeah. That's a really, really good mindset, and I think a really good niche to lift people up. You know.
Yeah,
I think that's a really good approach.
Yeah. How about you? What's your dream?
So I've talked a little bit about like franchising our company. I think originally like that's like our mindset. I think as we get closer and closer and I reach out to more franchisors, and really kind of what it takes and everything. I mean, yeah, it's intense, and it's, I mean, to do it right? Like to actually do it right, and to, you know, provide, you know, services and just the best really franchise you can. I mean, it's going to be a lot, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's an option. I think the other option is to just kind of really just take over maybe the local market. I do believe to build businesses that can run without us. That is my passion. That is what I am bought into, is like, how do we build businesses that operate without somebody being there 5 days a week, 50, 60 hours a week, you know? And so that's what I'm super passionate about. I want to teach other people how to do that. And so that's the whole reason we're starting a second location, whether we just keep them all corporately owned and have 5 running locations, 10 running locations, or we take it to that franchise level and just continue to add corporate levels, like that's, or corporate branches per se. That's kind of the toss up, and kind of like you said, maybe just stay in our local market and just focus on really, really profit, and just have them all corporately owned, have 10, 12, 15 locations in that North Texas area. So those are kind of the two roads that we're debating on, but nonetheless, wanting to teach people how to do it as well. So.
Absolutely. Because what's nice about teaching, as you know, it helps you learn too. It makes so that you dial into the systems. Because if you can't teach it, it's like, oh shit, do I really know this right now? Yeah, that's what I'm finding.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, hey, you and we haven't met before. This is the first time that we're talking. I figured instead of us just sort of having a talk one-on-one, let's record it and let's share with some people on YouTube who are maybe starting up their YouTube channel, or their lawn care company, and they might be having a few questions there. Maybe they'd love to hear your story, how you started. I'll share my story as well. And then we'll maybe just chat about a few different tips about what they could do if you were just starting today, what you maybe would have done differently than when you would have started a while back there. So without further ado, Will, how did you start this mega business that you're running right now, and how long ago was that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I when I was like 15 or 16, my dad actually helped me hand out flyers to start a mowing business. And nice. He would drive me to clients' properties and things like that. So that kind of gave me the itch for entrepreneurship and starting a lawn care business. Then I joined the Army, was a paratrooper in the United States Army for almost 6 years. And awesome. When I got out, my wife and I had moved to Texas. And I just knew that I didn't want to work for someone after being told what to do for 6 years. So we kind of put our brains together and brainstormed of what we could do. And so that's, obviously already having a mowing business when I was younger, I was like, let's mow lawns and do some landscaping. So that's kind of how we got started. I had literally a Grand Prix, putting the mower in the back seat of the Grand Prix. I mean, just literally hustling in the beginning.
Yes.
And then, we got a few clients locally. I realized that I needed a truck, so I sold the Grand Prix, bought a truck, And I actually went back and thought about it. I bought a $100 mower off of Facebook Marketplace and sold my Grand Prix, bought a $4,000 truck, F-150, and we just started the business, put the logos on the truck, and it just started to compound from there. In the first year, I did close to $20,000. It was really just myself working basically part-time on the side. And then in year 2, Larissa stepped away from Aldi as a manager and really kind of helped more so in the office, which was a little bit premature at that point because you really don't.
Is Larissa your wife?
Yes.
Yeah,
which was a little premature because you really don't need an office at 100K or office staff or somebody per se. But it really helped us propel. So we went from 20,000 roughly to 125,000. And then in year 2, well, actually, I'm sorry. In that second year, I had like 2 or 3 part-time employees that would come and help out. And then in year 3, we grew to 365,000. And then, it just really started to compound. Big proponent on, having God's blessings on us and just bringing us the right people, bringing us the right mentors. And then last year we did 630,000 in annual revenue at our first location. And then we started our second location this year. So it's just literally been like compounding growth. We just bought a headquarters building in February this year. So a lot of big moves. We're scaling really, really quickly, and we're literally learning so quickly. I think like the faster you learn and fail, the faster you can get to where you want to go. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
That is so cool. So like you're within like your first 4-ish years. Is that true? Or how many years are you in right now?
So we started in May of 2019.
Okay.
So 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, basically 4.5 around that mark.
Wow. Good for you, man. Like we're similar story here. So like we started actually 9 years ago. So this is our 9th year and 10th season, I believe. Myself, I was first year university. I was 19 years old, and my business partner Liam, who's a 50-50 owner of Yard Dogs here, we knew each other from elementary, junior high, and high school. And when we both went to university, he did engineering, I did business there. And after first year of school, like, hey, we got these tuition bills to pay for. We should just want to start a lawn care company, man. Is like, I know there's this machine. I went to this one seminar for going door to door with an aerator. It's a company it was Canadian Property Stars. They give you an aerator, you go door to door, and they give you like a 30% commission to do an aeration. And I remember sitting in that presentation thinking, interesting, okay, sounds like people want an aeration. They'll pay like 50-ish bucks for it. But if I'm doing all the sales and I'm doing all the work, I kind of want 100% commission, like the only thing stopping me is getting the machine. So I reached out to a few friends. Liam was one of them. Liam was the one that got back to me and said, yeah, let's do that. So we bought a machine on my 19th birthday. And that's what we were in business for. We started going door to door, and we were so bad. We were so bad at sales. We were learning how to do the service there. But people started, I think what people appreciated is that we brought a clean cut sort of look to the lawn care industry. We showed up when we said we were going to. We charged them what we said we were going to. We did a good job. And we weren't swearing every third word, smoking cigarettes left, right, and center. People appreciated that. And they started asking us, do you do X service? Do you do this? Do you do power raking, etc.? And when someone's offering money in your first year, you say yes every time. You go home and YouTube what they even asked you to do because you're doing it tomorrow at 10 a.m. for them. And then you go buy some used equipment at like 11 p.m. That was our story. When we were in university, this was just a summertime gig for us. And we did everything: landscaping, window washing, mowing, a bit of fertilizer, weed control. If somebody needed their toilet scrubbed, we'd go do it. Like we were just doing whatever it took to figure out what we were good at. After we graduated university, though, I was getting married. Liam was graduating. We decided, are we going to do this thing, or should we go what our parents want us to go get a real job after? Should we go get a real job, And we said, let's do this 1 year full time and see what happens. And that was about 4 years ago. And then we decided to go all in on what we thought was, for us, the most profitable service, what there was the least amount of competition in, and that we thought was pretty good at. And that was fertilizer, weed control, aerating, making lawns green, healthy, and weed free. So we were the Yard Dogs, went full on like that. And then I think your first year we had like 90 clients that were taken care of. We got second year to about 1,200 clients. Then we got third year, we got to 3,200 clients. year, and the next year we did about 3,400 clients, but that was a really hard year for us. So this was last season, almost went bankrupt that year. We were on boot camp talking about that with Edmonton and Red Deer because we tried to expand too quick. This year went for a hyper profitable year, and we're at about almost 4,700 residential clients for fertilizer, weed control, and we're trying to push for about $2 million this year. I'm this thermometer behind me. I'm about 70K away from 2 million, so we're hustling to get that happening. But it's been a grind, but it's been a ton of fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So are you completely wheat fertilization and weed control now?
Yeah, we don't do any grass cutting, no spring cleanups, no fall cleanups. I'm of the opinion that you can make money doing anything, but you got to pick one. You got to pick the one thing and try to be the best at it. Try to be known for something there. There's some awesome companies in Calgary where we are that make a ton of money mowing lawns, and there's some that do snow removal, spring cleanups, and stuff. But I don't really know of a big company that does everything. And I do find they got to go in Canada. We say we like to niche in, so we like the niches here there. Yeah. But so for yourself, man, so like you in your fourth year, you're rocking 6 trucks now, is it?
Yes, yeah, we're up to 6 trucks now.
That's awesome. So how many, do you have 6 people in the field? And then is it yourself and your wife that are managing most of the office work?
Yeah, so we have a total right now of 10 employees, including myself and my wife. Yeah, we range right now about roughly six field members. And then we have a full-time office manager who works remote for us. She's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I mean, she's going to be what's going to allow us to 10x, you know. Just really everybody, I mean, on our team is just incredible. But and then my wife, she is kind of, my wife and I are kind of acting as dual GMs, where we're kind of, you know, we have 2 locations that or the second location we just started. We're just getting that one off the ground. So yeah, we're kind of that dual GM. We don't actually do a lot of the sales calls per se. We obviously send out like upsell emails and stuff like that, but we don't really answer a lot of this incoming calls. It's really our office manager that does that.
And she'll answer all the calls, eh? Wow.
Yes.
That's great. Keep busy there. And then customer service, is that her job usually too?
Yeah, so she's customer service, all incoming calls, billing, and then she manages our inbox for the emails. So she really takes over all of that stuff.
Wow, she's busy. She'd be very busy there. Exactly. Busy. So you guys do the fertilizer retail, but you also do the lawn mowing as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So we don't offer standalone mowing by itself. We used to, but then we kind of was like, hey, a lot of these clients are the ones that, you know, kind of leave their dog waste in there, don't, you know, care about the lawns. And so we shifted over to more of that quality customer of doing the mowing and the weed control.
Cool. And then do you focus mostly on residential or commercial as well? Or just commercial?
Yeah, so in the beginning, we were kind of taking whatever we could, you know, trying to make ends meet. Now we have really focused on residential. I would say we're 99%. We have one bank that's up in our local area that we still service, and then a storage unit. Those are the only 2 properties that we have for commercial currently.
That's awesome. Which one do you prefer, commercial or the residential side of things?
So 1,000% residential. There's a mentality that I always use. I call it the Snicker pricing. Between the commercial and the residential, they're at the end of the day, to make it short and sweet, there's more profit there. That's why we focus on residential. We focus on the small cookie cutter properties, 21-inch mowers. We don't go above 8,000 turf square feet. Just really we don't use any zero turns, any stand-ons. All the guys are walking 5-6 miles a day. It's very hard, but we pay them really well. And so, yeah, I call it the Snicker pricing. You know, when you're standing at the gas station and you see a Snickers there on the counter, people pay $2 for the thing, but and you get that one Snicker bar. But you could go to Walmart and get a whole bag of them for probably like $3 or $4, right? We're focusing on that core, that 7-Eleven Snicker pricing with the residential clients, high premium pricing, so that way we can have better profits.
And you know what? It is so important to charge what you're worth and have good prices there. It's when you're always fighting for the bottom, and I see a lot of sometimes local companies try just to beat people on price. You need that price margin because if you're going to deliver at the top service, if you're going to make sure that you're giving guarantees, quality, you're paying your employees well, you need to price accordingly. And that people buy that Snicker bar at 7-Eleven because it's there, it's available, and it's reliable. And I'm sure with you, that's what they're going for. They're not looking for the cheapest company. They're looking for the company that's going to show up when they say they're going to show up. They're going to do a great job every single time. When there's a problem and they call, somebody answers the phone. I think having integrity in your business means having prices that people are willing to pay for. People that want the best deal, you guys aren't a good fit for each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and I see that a lot with people that are just starting out. Like they don't know what they're worth, they don't know what to charge, and they're just undercutting their pricing. But I mean, that's literally how I started. I mean, I remember handing $19 lawn cuts out, but hopefully they get through that stage as quickly as possible. You know what I mean? And really start to learn and get better from that. So.
Mm-hmm. I always found when we're trying to acquire new clients, like I'll negotiate slightly on price. We are probably the second most expensive company in Calgary for what we do. But I find that it's okay to do some offers to get some people in the door. But over time, as long as you do a great job and focus on client retention, they'll start to build a solid average client price for you. And people are willing to pay that premium, even though they're not a new customer anymore, because you've proven yourself to them. You've proven that you're going to get them a beautiful lawn, that you take care of them on time, and that when they have issues, you're servicing them. And it takes a good price tag to be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So like what for you, like what kind of different promotions are you running? Are you doing it like on that first visit, or are you doing overall for the year? Like,
yeah, so it's always changing. And the way it works is that I like to use, so I follow someone on YouTube called Alex Hormozy. Have you ever seen his channel before?
Yes.
He's phenomenal for learning how to sell and market, essentially. He just had a book, 100 Million Leads, just come out last week, essentially. And what he talks about is that you always got to have a promotion going on. So like when it's March, you better have the early bird pricing going on. April is like the start to spring. May is the midsummer, all these things going on, because you need to be able to present something to someone that has urgency and scarcity, meaning that you're only taking on X amount of people that promotion, and that promotion ends on this certain day. That way, when you're chatting with people on their phone, because my main role at Yard Dogs is the sales manager, and I'm next year probably going to be working at probably overlooking customer service and sales. But I do know that when people are calling you, the number one objection I get is, sounds good, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to chat with the missus. I'm going to go talk to the boss. I'm going to go think about it. And it's really hard to get a hold of them again once you get off the phone. So by using things like urgency and scarcity, it gives people reasons to actually go ahead with your service. So some examples of this is that we do price increases every single year. And we usually in the spring, will tell people that, hey, price increases start on April 1st. So a reason why you should book in March right now is because in April, I don't know what the price is going to go to, but this is the current price. Here's what it's expected that it's going to be. And I'll give you an extra $20 off. So the difference between the new price and the current price of $20 off, it's actually significant. And you want to encourage people to purchase, to start to either sign up and pay as they go, or choose to prepay. Maybe a little bit more of a discount for prepay, but I do like people on pay as you go as well. So we'll do things like that at the start of the season, in the middle of the season, like what I'm doing right now, because our season usually ends the end of September because we're in Canada and it gets pretty cold pretty quick here. I'm doing $99 special. You get the last application of fertilizer, weed control, and a liquid fall aeration. Then lots of people are jumping on that right now. And then we'll start to do our prepay season, usually late October, early November. And what we did do for that, we sometimes will do like 50% off your first application. And then if you prepay, we put your name into a pool and one person's going to win 2 round trip tickets to anywhere in North America. Like we have fun with it. We have fun with it, but we need to give people reasons to buy, because people like to not make a decision. Human nature, the easiest thing to do is do nothing. So we really need to put some sort of encourage on there. Otherwise, May 1st rolls around, the weeds pop up and everybody calls at the same time. And they have their credit cards out and you can't answer the phones fast enough. And you miss out so many people because if you don't answer, they call your competitor. So we try to squeeze as much of that out as possible beforehand.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's a really, really good approach. I like it.
Yeah. But Will, like now that you've learned so much, you mentioned that every single year you've learned so much. for the newest person watching this channel who might have just started their company or thinking about starting a company, if you lost all of your equipment, you lost all of your clients, you had to start today from scratch, what would you do differently? What are a couple of things that now that you've learned it maybe the hard way, what would you do differently?
So that's a really good question. I think in the beginning, if I lost everything today, I believe that I would absolutely jump right back into the same thing that we're doing. However, I would change some things. So I would dial in so right now we offer about 4 to 5 different services: mowing, weed control, property cleanups, and all that, and bush trimming, aerations, things like that. I would probably dial in similar to kind of what you're doing, where you just either pick 1 or 2 and just focus on that and become the absolute best at that. I would just, continue to, like, kind of what we spoke about earlier, of just continuing to reach out to people that are, where I want to be. Action is really the biggest steps. A lot of people, like, will read and listen to audiobooks and stuff, but really it's hard to be taught those principles unless you actually are the one doing it. So, like, I thought that was amazing for you and Liam, like, in the beginning, like going door knocking and just like falling on your face probably multiple times to like learn, okay, what do I need to say here? How do I need to respond here? Creating that urgency, that scarcity, and just really going out, putting in the action and learning from it, like, as fast as you can. I mean, we've had pretty exponential growth, but I feel like if somebody was very diligent about that, like, it could be quicker. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I don't like asking the question, would you do you regret anything? Because, like, every time you mess up, you learn so much, and as long as you don't die, like, the learning values that you're going to get from those failures, those mistakes, you can't go back and change those, because how else would you learned it? You might have read in a book, you might have heard about it, but unless it happened to you, would you have really made the change?
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely. And I'm actually glad that you brought that up. So me personally, like, with my faith and everything, like, I believe everything happens for a reason, right? So that's like my foundation. I personally don't regret anything in my life. I believe that every decision, every action, every response, no matter how good or bad it is, like, literally, I believe everything happens for a reason. I think there is a reason. All of those struggles that I had gone through were for a reason. And so now there is wisdom that I learned through those falls along the way to grow, but ultimately at the end, like, all of those experiences have shaped me into the way that I think today and the way that I act today, the way that I do today. So, like, I personally, I mean, there's always things that I could be like, when we look back, like you say, at the end of the year, and we're like, okay, what do we need to improve on? What do we need to change? And, like, we're constantly doing that. We're constantly reflecting, and you have to get better. But yeah, as far as, like, regretting anything directly, yeah, I am of a believer that I think everything happens for a reason. So I think, yeah, we're exactly where we need to be and where we're going. So what about you?
Oh yeah, I'm a man of faith as well. What's been cool about this business, what I love about the lawn care industry, one, there's awesome people like you that I meet, and, like, there's so many. I find when someone runs a lawn care business, they are such a down to earth, solid person to talk to. That is okay to make mistakes, and I always tell people, if they're thinking about starting any business, but especially lawn care, I say, you know what, go make 1,000 mistakes and do it quickly, because you don't want to. The ignorance tax that you have on right now is that you and the business you want is just not knowing things. And the best way to learn is to go make those mistakes. There's a good Chinese proverb that's like, in order to be good, you have to be bad. And I'm a huge subscriber to that. My wife and I, on Friday, it's our 5-year anniversary. We have 3 kids. And what I found very quickly is that you don't know what you're doing when you're a new time dad. Like, I had 3 brothers. She had 9 siblings, so she had a lot more experience with what to do. But I'm like, I was willing to be bad with and learn things one by one. And the same with this business is that Liam and I were going door to door. Yeah, it hurts to get said no to. And yeah, it was uncomfortable, but it also sucks to live a life where you're not taking chances. It's risky not to take risks, I find. So I'd much rather learn. Doing it with someone was very valuable for me. I don't think I could have done what I've done without Liam for sure. And because it was nice to go through the hard times with someone. Like last year, we had a pretty unprofitable year. 2023 has been a lot better, but 2022 was a really tough year. And like it was one of those years for the first time I legitimately kind of felt like quitting, you know? I wasn't going to quit, but I felt like if this didn't get better in a year or two, I wonder if we'd have to turn in the towel. And going through the hard times with someone, not just the good times, I think is so important for shaping character together and learning from. That's where the real value comes from. Like learning those mistakes. Now this 2023 is only going as well as it is, knock on wood, because of the mistakes we made in 2022. So I'm so grateful, and I'm with you. I believe everything happens for a reason, and you got it. Whenever you get punched in the face, you fall on your face, you got to ask yourself, okay, like what kind of lessons, like, God's trying to teach me right now, or what can I get out of this? Because it sucks. I might as well get something out of it.
Yeah.
Let's do our best there. So if you were to start from the scratch today, how would you get your very first 10 clients? Let's just say it's Monday morning, 7 a.m. What are you going to do today to get those first 10 clients?
I would literally, hopefully I have a printer at the house. I would print out pieces of paper that have my name, my phone number, and what I do. And I would literally go, you don't even need to knock on the doors. If people are scared and they're not ready to face that yet, I would literally just go. You can actually kind of slip the flyer inside of the door halfway, or get a rubber band, you can punch it and wrap it around. But I would literally just hand out, to get my first 10 clients, I would print out 1,000 pieces of paper, and I would hit the closest 1,000 homes to where I'm directly at.
That's awesome. And I saw your other video about starting up your own lawn care business. And I loved how you said, guys, don't get cute with it. Don't be fancy. You're literally going to just print black and white, name, company, phone number, what you do, a way to contact you for a price, or put the price right then and there, and just get them out there. So many people get stuck up in the details, and they'll spend all day trying to make the perfect flyer. And like, yes, make it pretty, but when you're starting out and like you got a family to feed, or you got your rent coming up, like you got to do what you got to do. And you just got to knock on a lot of doors, talk to people, leave a flyer, and go to the next one. You jog between houses, you go. And it's a grind. The first 100 grand is a grind.
Absolutely.
But you need that grind. You need it so that you learn what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
It's so important, man. There's no shortcuts.
Absolutely. And then, once you start handing out some flyers, and people walk in their dogs, hey, do you mind if I hand you a flyer? Like, you just ask them for permission. They're not going to be like, no. Just, sure, what is it? Yeah. Here, I'm just starting my lawn care business, got out of the military. Here, maybe somebody just got out of school. Hey, I just got out of school, I'm starting my lawn care business. If you ever need anything. And it's that simple, and you just move on, slip them in the doors, hand out 1,000. Like 1,000 flyers will get a customer. I'm confident of that, and that will at least
Absolutely.
get you started. And if you treat that customer right, hopefully you can talk to the neighbors and have him refer a friend or a neighbor or something like that, to really kind of get that ball rolling.
Yeah, let's talk about referrals a little bit, because you brought that up there. So I find that a huge amount of people call us because their friends had heard about us. And I love it when somebody says, hi, my friend Jackie is with you. Because I'm like, okay, this person's going to book with me. Like, I don't even have to say much. She's going to book with me because a friend has already vouched for me. And a lot of people also see the lawn sign. So that after every job, we legally have to put down a sign if we spray herbicide, but we do it regardless of anything because it's such good branding. We have a little dog bone that goes on people's lawns, essentially. What's your best way to get referrals, do you find?
As far as like referrals go, so one of the biggest things, obviously just doing really good quality of work, that will definitely help, focus on your retention and like that turnover. We've done that tremendously this year, and I think our referrals have gone up. Another thing that we do is we try to incentivize our team. So we have 6 little worker bees that go out and do the work, obviously all day long, and they're constantly in front of people that are walking the dog. Maybe the neighbor comes over, somebody asks them for a business card, And so that's we try to incentivize them to communicate to them and have them call our company or whatever. And then the other thing that we do, which I mean, this isn't really, I guess, referral per se, but with Google reviews and everything, we incentivize our team to, if they go out and do a landscape job, our protocol is they have to ring the doorbell to get approval before they leave. It's a perfect opportunity to ask somebody for a Google review as a referral on online, and that will help boost us up to get more calls that way too.
Do you incentivize your employees to get those Google reviews?
Absolutely. So we pay $50 per review, and I try to make it as quickly.
50, hey?
50.
Generous. That's awesome.
And we try to do it as quickly as possible. So originally we were like, hey, we'll pay that out at the end of the month or maybe on the paycheck. I want them, if they get a review that day, I'm writing them a check that evening. Like, here you go. You know what I mean? As quickly and as least resistant as possible. So that way they're like, oh, if I do this, I get it immediately, and it's tremendously helped.
That's so awesome there. We're the same way. And I actually tell the guys, tell the client that you get paid by the company for this. So I'll say, because when they would go up and say, hi there, would you write Yard Dog's review? They all say, yeah. And none of them would do it. But first of all, it's important they give them a card that if they scan it with their phone, it goes right to the Google landing page. Because people get lost in the mix-up. And, Grandma Sally doesn't always have a good way to go into her Google account and stuff. So we make it very easy for them. And I have them with a Sharpie write their name on it because I want the customer to mention that technician's name in the Google review just so I can credit to them. And I say, hey, by the way, if you've been happy with my quality of work, I would love it if you would write me a Google review and mention my name if you've been happy with everything. I actually get we do a $10 bonus here at Yard Dogs. I get a $10 kickback from the company, and I just really appreciate that. And I find the client doesn't do it for Yard Dogs, but they'll do it for Austin. They will do it for Michael because they want to tip him, and it's a good way to tip them without actually having to tip them. And that was our strategy for Google reviews, and it's been that's how we've built the Google reviews we have, just by having our technicians do a good job. Like you said, very important, because bad job, no review, obviously, but you got to ask for it too and incentivize the boys to do it too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a big proponent of just saying, hey, I get a kickback from it as well, so the customer can feel that. So
do you guys do much when it comes to Google advertisements, Google ads?
I did this spring, and I did it completely incorrectly. So anybody here who wants to learn, don't do this. I set a really, really big budget. I think it was April. I think it was in April or May, which was at the tail end of our spring rush. What I was doing, I had a enormous budget. I basically spent I think it was maybe $4,000 or $5,000 in, I think, a matter of a couple of weeks. And so the budget each day was extremely high. I don't remember exactly what the hard number was, but they could probably do the math on that. But there is a law of diminishing returns of once you put so many dollars into Google ads that you're just paying them, you know what I mean? So $10 a day is probably better. Maybe 10, 15, 20 bucks a day would be better. Don't quadruple that or 5x that, because it's not the return on that. You lose return on the back end when you're putting that much out, because there's just not enough pool per se when everybody's doing that, in that short amount of time.
Got it. I don't know if there's differences between USA and Canada for those, but guess what we spend per day on Google ads during our peak season?
I'm gonna guess maybe $200.
$1,000 a day.
Really?
$1,000 a day, but it is worth it every single time. We'll do about 7 to 8K a day in new sales when it comes to the Google ads. So I think what we can do, and Liam knows a lot more about those than I, let's definitely jump on a call another time. I'd love to show you what we do, what works for us, what doesn't work for us, and just show you how it's been very beneficial for us, because the way that we got from that 130 clients in the first year to the 1,200 clients, strictly Google ads. From there, it was Google ads in addition to SEO. But the number one way that people find us, it's Google. These days, they walk outside, they see a dandelion in their lawn, they go, oh shoot, weed control Calgary or lawn care Calgary. And I believe you got to have the number one Google ad, you got to have the local listing popping up, and you got to be number one for SEO. You do those three things. There are so many people going to go for lawn care inquiries, and you will capitalize so much on those. So let's definitely chat another video. I'd love to show you what's worked for us.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Seriously.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Cool. So, Will, I don't want this video to go on too long there, but just what would you say is like a new guy starting out? He's scared, he doesn't know what to do, or he's a little bit rocky. He's going into the fall right now. Because right now, like we're recording this, it's August 28th. And I know the States, they have definitely a longer season than we do in Canada. But if someone was looking to start right now, or at least just do a little bit more of a kick for the next month or two, what would be a piece of advice you'd give to someone just to make the most out of the fall season?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So what I would say, it actually contradicts on what I would do if I started a new location, because I've just, obviously we have 4 years of wisdom, and I know what works, and we can dive into it. But if you are completely unsure, you're just starting out, need to make ends meet, you need to make some side money, side hustle to get this thing actually going so you can start to pay your bills and make a living out of it, I would say, similar to like what you said, is literally do anything that is somewhat around lawn care, whether that's snow removal, bush trimming, property cleanups, aerations, fertilizer, pre-emergence, just whatever it is. If it's something around lawn care per se, lawn care landscaping, I would absolutely do it. Figure out how to do sod. Sod is fall time frame is a great time to do sod. Tree trimming is a great time to do in the fall, because you don't want to trim the trees when they're super hot. You can cause diseases on them. So, get on YouTube University, figure out how to trim a tree properly, figure out how to install sod, flagged sprinkler heads, prep the soil, put it down, and that's what I would say. I would widen their funnel on stuff that they do. Maybe figure out how to put in like solar lights out in the flower beds. I don't know, do something. I mean, I remember that was one of our bullet points, is we did solar lights. I don't think we ever got a job, but it was one of our bullet points, whatever it takes, just doing whatever it takes.
You got to get the foot in the door and learn how to talk to customers, learn how to do residential services, because I find that when you're starting, you got to go wide. You got to get people for mowing, solar, Christmas lights, snow. You do what you can, and then you got to figure out what's good for you, because just because we like fertilizer, weed control, doesn't mean you can't make a ton of money just doing snow removal and lawn maintenance. It doesn't mean you can't do a ton of money doing other things too. But you got to figure out what's a service that you actually like to do, because if you don't like it, it's going to be hard to build a business. What's a service that makes you good money? Because if you're not making money, it's going to be hard to build a business. And what's a service that there's a demand for? Because sometimes there's more competition in one market than others for a specific thing. So what makes you different? What can you get very good at? I'd say that too. Yeah, in the fall, as things cool down here in Canada, I would really start to focus on, because our season's shorter, which means our leaves will actually start to fall in October and into our Canadian Thanksgiving. I would definitely make a good solid plan for getting fall cleanups. That'd be a good way to definitely get a lot of people to make 150 to 300 Canadian on those, and try to get a lot of people in for a cleanup, because then you can start to advertise your core service to them, which might be fertilizer, weed control packages, mowing next season, and build that clientele. So I'd go hard for the fall cleanups, and maybe Christmas lights if you're up to it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are Perfect. Great ones. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, the fall cleanups, Christmas lights, huge.
Perfect. So, Will, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. It was so awesome to hear your story. I'm totally down to do another one of these again. For anyone watching this video today, how can they hear more about you? How can they find more of Will?
Yeah, so I would say biggest thing is, so on YouTube, you could just search Will Kelly or Military Lawn Cuts. I have two channels. The Military Lawn Cuts one is kind of inactive, but my personal channel, Will Kelly, I think it's the Will Kelly. I'm super active in the comments on that. If they have any questions, they can always ask me. I have an email, media@Military Lawn Cuts. If anybody wants to email me directly, I actually check that email constantly. And myself, it's not managed by our office or anything like that. So yeah, just give me a shout if you guys got any questions. So.
Perfect. And I vouch that he's responsive, because he replied to me going to that email too. So if you have not subscribed to Will yet, it's Will Kelly on YouTube. Search that in. give them a subscribe. While you're at it, drop us one too. We'd really appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up. If you guys have any questions about things that you'd love us to talk about maybe in the next time, or more that we want to get into, please drop in the comments below. We'd love to hear more about your feedback there. And if you haven't already signed up for Mike Andy's Landscape Summit, it's happening in Kentucky on October 16th. Will's going to be there speaking. Myself and Liam, we're going to be there speaking. We'd love to meet you in person. But to wrap things up, Will, thank you so much for your time. You're crushing your business, man. You don't stop. You keep it up. And I can't wait to meet you in person just a couple of weeks from now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Super pleasure. Thanks for having me on, and excited to meet you at Landscape Summit.